with the planning and zoning. Is there anybody in the gallery that wishes to be recognized? Seeing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed. I currently have every item currently on consent except for item 2, RS 2026-1800, and item number 6, BL 2025-1147. Before I read the captions, is there any additional items which need to be removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll proceed to read the captions, and if there's any additional ones that be removed, we can do so at the end. Item number 1, RS 2026-1795, sponsors Horton and Evans Siegel, a resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer main and sanitary sewer manholes for 3 properties located at 2183 Kidd Road, Fly Road, Unnumbered, and Kidd Road, Unnumbered in Williamson County, also known as 2183 Kidd Road Phase 1B. Item 3, BL 2026-1259, sponsors Horton and Evans Siegel, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 2 properties located at West Division Street, Unnumbered in Mount Juliet, Wilson County, also known as the Canebrake Subdivision, Phase 2B. Item 4, BL 2026-1260, sponsors Horton and Evans Siegel, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer main, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 2 properties located at 9913 and 9917 Maupin Road in Williamson County, also known as WMN Regency Hills. Item BL 2026, or item 5, BL 2026-1261, sponsors Parker, Horton, and Evans Siegel, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing public sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements, and to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, and sanitary sewer manholes and associated easements for 9 properties located at Dickerson Pike, Gatewood Avenue, and Marie Street, also known as the Pike Phase 1. That concludes the consent agenda. Do we have a motion from a committee member? So moved and seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? Any not voting? The consent agenda is approved. I think we're at 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. The first item not on the consent agenda is item 2, RS 2026-1800, sponsors Druffel, Johnston, Nash, Gamble, Bradford, and Allen, a resolution requesting the Metropolitan Planning Department and the Metropolitan Development and Housing Agency, MDHA, to study and implement emerging and innovative public housing solutions to effectuate more permanently attainable and affordable housing options within Nashville and Davidson County. Do we have a motion from a committee member to open discussion? Moved and seconded. We're joined here today by the primary sponsor, and my machine is messed up, so just give me one moment. Councilmember Druffel, you're recognized.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. This is 2 weeks ago, we listened to numerous people that were talking about a serious effort to move into affordable housing. This is my 7th time I've heard the same thing, and this is a directional resolution that says, hey, we've heard you. We would like the mayor and everybody to start moving forward. We understand that there's some efforts going on right now, but I believe we want to make sure that all the people that have been telling us this understand we've heard and we're working on it.
Thank you for that explanation. Any discussion? I see Councilmember Parker, and I'm sorry. Sorry, the machine keeps messing up. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. So I definitely appreciate the spirit of this, but the work that this is asking to be done is work that has really been happening for years. I've worked closely with the Housing Division of the Planning Department on advancing different models where we can utilize public property that's owned by Metro, whether that's, we build on it or we sort of bid out given sites. If you look in the UHS, there are actually specific sites that are called out as potential Metro properties that we can sort of do this type of thing on. And I believe we're seeing some movement on some of those. It's challenging because, different different properties are owned by different departments, and we're sort of working through the details of like how all that works. But I guess I always struggle with, when we, if we did a resolution to say like, make sure the trash gets picked up next week, and then it's like, well, they picked up the trash because of my resolution, but we've got the department's already done the UHS. They're already doing a lot of this work. So I'm not sure what this is specifically calling out that we're not already doing today.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Druffel, are you seeking to be recognized?
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't know if we all see the efforts. We hear investing in the Barnes Fund, et cetera, but I don't know if we all see the results of those efforts or the increases in affordable housing. So it's not like just picking up the garbage, because I don't see that we are, going forward with the numbers. And some of this may be under consideration, but I think people need to understand that we've heard what people are concerned about now for several years, and that then bring the information forward and give us some targets that says, okay, we're going to have this many affordable housing units in 2 years. But I don't see any of that information, so.
Thank you, Councilmember. I see Councilmember Parker is looking to be recognized again.
Thank you, Chair. So again, whenever we look at, requesting or directing departments to do things, I always think it's helpful to check with the relevant folks in that department. So I don't know if we have anybody from Housing Division here, or I wonder if Councilmember Druffel could speak to how the conversations with the Housing Division went as he was drafting this.
Thank you, Councilmember. I'll go first to Councilmember Druffel and then to the Planning Department as well. Councilmember Druffel.
Yeah, we did have some conversation earlier. I don't think they're here, but we did have a conversation, and I think there's some movement. But again, this is directionally to get more movement and more consideration, so that we have, I haven't seen anything where that says we are going to have this many affordable units going forward in any fashion. So I think we'd like to see more concrete action from this perspective.
Thank you, Councilmember. I know we're not joined by MDHA specifically. I wonder if our friends at the Planning Department may be able to provide any additional context on how what would be studied here would be unique from the studies that have already been concluded, or is this work that's already been done and being done at the Planning Department? You're recognized.
Sure, thank you. We don't have anyone here from our Housing Division tonight that could speak to the specific efforts that are underway. I can say that there are a lot of efforts underway that touch a lot of different types of housing and studies, and that work will continue, and we are happy to look at all avenues. I do think that some of this work is currently underway, but I can't speak to specifically the timing of that because no one from housing is here.
Thank you for that explanation. I saw Councilmember Parker raise his hands, but we have not heard yet from Councilmember Gamble, so I'll go first to Councilmember Gamble.
Thank you, Chair, and I appreciate the explanation and the spirit of the sponsor's resolution here. I think it has been stated in the Unified Housing Strategy that we need 20,000 affordable housing units, but I don't know that we've had a breakdown of how many of those units would be on Metro-owned property. And so I think, and I'm sure that work is being done. I know the Housing Division is doing a lot of work, but I do understand the spirit of the resolution and making sure that the public is aware and the public knows that these efforts are underway, and the Metro Council is seriously looking and waiting for information regarding the use of Metro property for affordable housing. So for that reason, I support the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Parker, I will go back to you.
Thank you, Chair. I would love to hear from the Housing Division either in writing before the next meeting or at the next committee meeting, and given that they're not here, I would like to move a one-meeting deferral.
Thank you. We have a motion for a one moved and seconded. Any discussion on the one meeting deferral? Councilmember Druffel, you're recognized.
I would just acknowledge it's a non-binding resolution. This is a reflection of what we heard. In all these years, I have not seen any projected affordable housing, anything in concrete that says we're doing something I hear a lot of background noise, but, you know, outside of, you know, our funding for the Barnes Fund, are we really producing what we think we need? And as Council Lady Gamble has suggested, 20,000 units. Where in the heck are we with all this? And I just don't see any, like I said, concrete effort. And I think this goes to putting some pressure on, let's get some information first.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized with respect to the one meeting deferral motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I signed on to this bill because I support every effort we can make on housing affordability, but I'm willing to support the one meeting deferral just to include more conversation. I will say there is information that the Housing Division has created, the dashboard that shows what's created every year, and there are some encouraging things there. There are also a great statement of the need that's there. So and I appreciate the inclusion of the words emerging and innovative. Some of those topics were raised before. The Unified Housing Strategy is a great consolidation of much of the effort that's been done in the past, but to me, this is just an acknowledgement that we can always learn and do more. And I support the deferral, but I'm going to ultimately probably support this as well when we bring it back.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any further discussion on the one meeting deferral motion? Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Chair. I'm sorry, I was in another committee, and this kind of is relative to the deferral, but it might be more to the resolution. I guess if the planning department had to do this, would they have to outsource that work, and would they have to pay for that? Is that, and maybe that's not relative to the deferral, but it's a question that I was out of the room. I'm sorry about that.
I don't want to speak for planning. Councilmember Parker moved for the one meeting deferral given the absence of our housing folks from the planning department here today. So to allow us to gather their input was the reason behind the
Sounds good.
Motion.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Any not voting? I think we're up to 9 now. A vote. One meeting deferral is approved, 9 in favor of a deferral, 0 against, 0 not voting. Our second and final item not on the consent agenda is item number 6, BL 2025-1147, sponsors Toombs, Horton, and Evans Siegel. This is an ordinance amending certain access management sections of chapters 13.12 and 17.20 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws to implement the Access Management Manual, which complies with regulations and guidelines for access from private property to the public rights of way, to modernize the development review process and make streets safer for all modes of transportation. The primary sponsor, Councilmember Toombs, who's sponsor of her status as chair of budget, is not here today. I kept this off consent regarding a substitute regarding the placement of street trees at intersections. It's something we've been working closely with NDOT as well as our friends at the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee and the Vision Zero Advisory Committee. Have agreed on the substance of language to include here and just need to put that in legislative format that can be included as a substitute, which is not on the bill today. Given this context, I'd make a request for a committee member to make a motion for a one meeting deferral. Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Any not voting? Yeah. Recommend a one meeting deferral, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. And that concludes the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Committee. Thank you.